Ladies and gents, welcome back to the EU Gears Pro League. My name is Toad, and we have the final game of the summer quarter coming up. And what more can we ask for than Rated R going up against Elevate? I am joined once again by Alex Fruin. Getting it right this time, not calling you Alex Fru as I usually does, but we're very excited to get in this game, mate. It should be a good one.
It should be a great one. I don't know about you, but every time we see these two teams face up, we always get a really, really good series out of it. The last 5 times, that they've matched up, apart from that major final, it's gone right down to the wire. So absolutely, it's always a good one to watch, and they always treat us to some really, really good gears.
They do indeed, and I hope they do this time round as well. Let's have a look at what happened last time these two did meet. And just to remind you guys at home, the implications for this one, Elevate must win if they want to finish second here in the UGS Pro League. Of course, Rated R are locked in first, and will have that first seed heading in to that finals of the season, of course. But this was last time round. It was 5-3 over towards Elevate on Bunker. But then District going over towards Rated R, and then Exhibit a 5-0 win. And these two teams have exchanged that Exhibit quite a few times over the past year or so, haven't they?
They have, yeah. It was a real big part of the major, right? The spring major. We saw it go back and forth. We saw Rated R turtle up on it, and they won the first time round in that winners bracket final. Second time, we did see it go the way of Elevate, and it's been the same case here as well in the league, as you said. Exhibit going the way of Rated R this time around. So I don't know if they're going to pick it, if they're going to ban it. I'll be very excited to see what happens with this map, because that is a map for me that could swing both ways, quite honestly, depending on who's on their game on it. We saw Oxygen have a decent game on it just then. We've seen these two teams have a good game on it, many, many times before. And across the board, some fantastic scorelines, stats-wise. District's an interesting one. Bunker, I'm expecting to go the last 2 times these teams have matched up. Bunker has been the map that Elevate has won, so I think if you're doing your homework, you might want to ban that one out if you're Rated R, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the maps, picks and bans go, in just a little while.
Yeah, and another thing we did sort of partially discuss as well was the fact of what are Rated R going to give away on this one. Nothing changes for them, irrelevant of what happens here. Would they like Elevate to be seeded third? Would they like to be on their side of the bracket? Or do they want them second so they're on the other side? Who knows? I mean, there's so many different things you could read into. Rated R maybe looking to try and look at a few of the maps that they haven't had a chance to practice against the best opposition possible for them at this moment in time, you would think. I'm curious to see which direction they go, but there's a few ways that this one could go. Do Rated R care that much? Do they want the 6-0? Do they want one over on Elevate? There's so many different theories that we could come up with. I'm not quite sure which way I would like to think it was going to go.
I think for me, it's got to be the 6-0. I think last season they were disappointed to come out of that game, right? They won the league, I guess, in the 6 weeks. But Rated R, they did lose to Elevate in that last map, despite getting the rounds they needed. And it was Iceman, and it was a difficult one for them to take, actually, going into that major. They had that at the back of their minds that, yes, they had actually lost to Elevate in the very last week. So I think if you're Rated R, you look to finish flawlessly today. You look to put your best foot forward going in towards the major, and you look to solidify a perfect season.
You look to solidify it. I think so. I think if I was Rated R, I would look at this and sort of say to myself, right, let's make sure we do lock this one in. We want a 6-0. And it would give them maybe a little bit of a confidence booster over Elevate heading into those finals. However, they still have to just actually beat Elevate. I'm not saying that would be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, they have had one up on them so far this season, and I'm curious to see if they can continue their unbeaten record. But looking towards Elevate, they are the ones that need to win this game. If they want to finish second, the higher you seed, the better your chances are when it comes to the finals, 100%. And of course, finishing where you finish towards the end after the whole finals does make a difference towards your prize pool as well. So Elevate will definitely be wanting to win this one too. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And somebody who has stood out all season long as Dragons, we've seen how he was top of the eliminations. Him, Pains, and Mosh all leading the way, most eliminations throughout the whole of the Pro League. So Rated R really do have that slaying ability on their side, and I'm curious whether they can continue to do so up in this game against Elevate this time around.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice stat to point out, because actually, if you look at Dragon specifically, he's 30 above the next person in the list and 60 above the third person in the list. He's almost triple digits above his teammates that are second and third behind him. So it really is an amazing season for Dragons. He's been a performer throughout his entire time in the Pro League, but this season specifically, he's gone under the radar a little bit but has been putting up some serious numbers every single week.
And I'm interested to see if the man who does lead those KDAs, Crimsons on Elevate, is going to be able to help his team through this one. He has really been the shining light for them throughout, and we've seen a couple of weeks here and there where the rest of the team maybe lagged behind a little bit, but we know when this team is firing that they probably are the best team in Europe. We know that Rated R have always been there, but when Elevate are on their game, they are very, very difficult to beat. And I'm wondering whether this ascendancy, this upward curve they've been on as of recent, is going to peak towards the end with a win over Rated R. It would be difficult to come by, no doubt, but every single member of this team has to be firing on all cylinders if they do want to find that win.
Yeah, and to be honest, they've all got to be playing well as well. It's not just a case of everyone needs to be playing their normal game. They need to be playing their A game. They need to be at the top of it, because the team they're against, they have definitely upped their own game in Rated R, right? They've definitely upped their game. Elevate, they've got to go to new heights here in Europe. They're used to playing top opposition, in the likes of UIU and Quarantine and Hive and all those other teams over the other side of the pond, but now they've got some serious competition over here in Rated R and Oxygen, and for me, they have got to step it up today. If they want anything to do with that grand final in that major, they really have to make sure that they're playing at the top of their game. And what better time to prove to the whole of the community that are all saying the same thing? You're not performing well, you're down on your laurels a little bit, you're not looking fantastic. Prove them wrong. And this is their time to do it.
And I'm sure they will like to do that. I'm very excited to get in this game. I do believe the picks and bans are nearly ready to go as well. We'll dive into them as soon as we can to try and decipher which way we think this game is going to go. Because honestly, it is a very difficult one to say. I think you were saying before that the last 5 times, apart from the finals of the spring major, of course, they went all the way to the last map. So Exhibit is gone by Elevate, Bunker is gone by
That's
Rated
exactly
R.
what I called.
They make sense completely. Vasgar
Yep.
pick coming out of Elevate is a little bit of a different one, and Rated R pick in District is not any surprise. Icebound is then banned out by Rated R. Training Grounds then gone from Elevate, and Asylum coming up last if we do need it in the decider in the final map. No surprises, in all honesty. Vasgar, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if that's caught me off guard or whether it should have been expected, as Elevate have been fairly decent at that map, I would say. I don't know. I would have maybe seen an Icebound coming out of Elevate potentially, but either way, I like these map picks for both teams. I'm struggling. I think this goes last map based on what we see here. I think it does. It's either that, just because I favor Rated R in District, but I think it's hard to even predict because there's been times where Elevate have taken District over Rated R. So I don't know. I think it's very, very difficult to predict.
I think you're totally right. I think actually, the first 2 bans are, if I was, Coach Elevate, Coach Rated R, that would be the 2 bans that would have gone for.
100%.
Absolutely. Get Bunker out the way, get Exhibit out the way. Let's go to some different maps, boys. And that's exactly what they've chosen. The Vasgar pick is an interesting one because actually the last time these guys played it in Pro League, Rated R won that one. So Elevate, they did pick it, but they lost it 5-4, and it was a real close game. So that's going to be a very interesting one to see play out. I really don't know which way that one's going to go. District, on the other hand, that has gone 1-1. The last 2 times these guys have faced up in the Pro League, which was earlier in the summer split, and the last game in that spring split, this went 5-3, and it went to Elevate one time, went to Rated R the other time. So that is another map that could go both ways. It's really very, very difficult to call those first 2 maps. Asylum, though, that's a difficult one. That's one they actually beat Elevate on 5-1 last time they played. And that for me is a huge scoreline. But given how they played last week against, the likes of Team Sick on it, who knows? Let's throw it all up in the air. Let's see what happens, see where it falls, because it's going to be a great series. The maps are perfect for it. They're all going to be so close, Chris. And actually, those first 2 are just perfect.
It is. You've hit the nail on the head. I mean, literally every single one of these maps could go either way. And honestly, the only thing that really I know for certain is that you look at those first 2 maps and both teams are happy with that. But then from there, everyone's sort of like, well, this could really go either way, in all fairness. So I'm intrigued to see which way it does go. I hope we're nearly ready to get into the game. I'm excited to get into it. I want you guys in the chat to let me know who you think is going to go on and win this series. Before we do jump into the game, though, let's have a look at our head-to-head. And this time round, we went with Crimsons and Dragons. They're 2 outstanding performers for both of their 2 teams. Are these 2 going to be the guys that make the difference here for it?
I mean, they have to be, right? This is their time to shine. These are the 2 top players in the league right now. Crimsons, Dragons, they are splitting those 5 categories that we've got, and it's 3 to Dragons. a 2 to Crimson's, and they're both up there in the other categories as well. So it really is splitting hairs between these two players. They both fulfill a very different role. That is something we should say. Crimson's is very, very much a very steady home player, will do what the team needs. Dragons is flashy, make the plays, not necessarily always the best plays, but makes the best of them. And always comes out with a huge, huge elimination per game. Rocking almost 28 there. That's a real strong score line. That's a very, very high score. And he's been doing that every single game, so it's consistently really, really good from Dragons. Same with Crimson's. It's going to be very, very difficult to split these players. Just going to see them, on the map and see what happens. But yeah, these are the two guys that we're going to watch because they're the best two in the league.
I don't think you're out of order saying that. I think there's a lot of players who are close, but I would say, in terms of their respective teams, they are very much up there, and they are players who've been causing problems all the way through. Honestly, it goes back to, of course, this being our final Pro League game of the season as a whole, as the complete season. It has to be said that these two players have been at the top throughout and have constantly proved to be a threat for either one of the teams. And yes, okay, they do often something different, but Crimson's, for all his consistency, Dragons for all his flashy players, and we know he likes to get amongst it, and I'm intrigued to see how these two are going to play it. We're loading into Vanguard and see we're ready to go into this one. It should be a good one. As mentioned, this is the final Pro League game of the whole year. Of course, we do have the finals coming up at the end of July as well. But I'm excited again. This one, Vanguard coming up first, and we will see District, then Asylum if we need it. I think it'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? It'd be rude not to head towards Asylum.
I think you're right. I think you're totally right there, Chris. I think if we don't see Asylum, they've done us a detriment, given that we've seen these guys go, head to head, pretty much right to the wire so many times throughout the last year. I can't believe it's been a year as well. That's already something that's shocking me, that we're at the back of the fourth quarter. I mean, it's not been a technical year, but a year of Gears esports for sure in terms of this, this season 1. So it's absolutely a long time since I remember rocking up to the studio that first time to start putting on this show. And these guys battling it out against one another have give it since that very first game. So it is only fitting that we see them here on the very final game as well of Season 1.
Well, here we go. We're loading into Vanguard. 3 times a piece, elevate 100% win percentage. And I think Vanguard sort of slipped under the radar for me a little bit for Elevate, but they have been very convincing at it. They're a team who like to utilize that long shot in the hands, of course, of Crazed.
Yeah.
But this time around, it is going to be an A and B split coming out of Rated R. Elevate. Putting a lot of pressure coming in from their home side of C. Rated R, very wary of what's going on here. We can see already in the top right corner that Rated R have already extended over. They are looking to make that push over towards C, but it needs the rest of the team to defend A as best they can here. It's a very important gunfight straight off the rip. Hydro and Kodo are going to get a little bit of a real estate here. Phelpsy tries to push around behind. Strikers is there, but it's the secret man from Hydro that finds Dragon. Strikers is able to answer back with another, though. But which way do the cards fall in this scenario? C is going to go over towards Rated R. A is still in limbo. Elevate looking to make this push now, but Strikers continues his tear. Isn't able to quite finish the kill there and will go down. Slazen's the only one to answer back, but he will get taken out. And eventually Elevate will get a hold of A, but B and C has been lost.
Yeah, C will be lost as they've
they're not going to get this
either. Elevate. Good kills though coming out. Really, really good kills coming out from Rated R. They're going to lock back in their home hill. They've got to lose B as well. And I think actually that's just one missed shot from Slazen that's cost them that. A lot of time on the A hill trying to get that one back. They are going to fight it back over here though. Over at Elevate's home hill. Rated R trying to split the map here a little bit, trying to play both homes. There's absolutely nobody near that B hill. And I think rightly so, as they're trying to put pressure on elsewhere.
And when you look at this, do you think it suits Rated R a little bit more, Elevate? This style of map, where it comes down to these rotations, where it comes down to winning your big team fights. I think they're just so evenly matched. Slazen with the good movement isn't able to quite find Hydron. We'll come back to the question in a second as Hydron finds another Phelpsy there in support as well. They keep a hold of B. They've got a hold of C. Rated R are relegated, just keeping a hold of A here, but they do have a points lead. The win condition, though, does belong to Elevate. But back to the question, do you think it suits Elevate more, their style of play?
I think Elevate are just, a very practiced team on this map. And I think at this point in time, if they're winning their gunfights, absolutely, this map will suit them. They're really good at playing rings, they're really good at timing, and this map is pretty much all about that, making sure you've got the right people at the right place at the right time. And Elevate, they have been really good at that so far this season. On the other side of things, though, there are so many scrappy close quarters fights that Rated R absolutely could run through this if they just, get a bit of wind under their sails and they start to open up on these opening shotgun fights. It really is up to that. But Hydron, he's not letting him have any of it. That's his second double of the map. Looking for his triple now. We'll get the flashbang out. He's against Strikers on the other side of things. Was getting crossed in the back, and Strikers now looking for his own double kill as he rolls sideways into Craze. Craze will get the hill. The COG team will win in just 9 seconds. The decap trying to come in from Craze, but it's not really going to mean anything unless he can do a lot of work here. The decap will come in. The points, though, will go all the way to Rated R, and they're going to get the first round of what is potentially going to be a very exciting series, given that first one.
Round 1, I hope that is an example of what we get for the rest of the game. For very, very tight between these two. Rated R will get the points victory in the end. Dragons won a big fight over towards B there, had Elevate managed to get the decap at it. But Elevate may be a team that does grow into this map a little bit more. We see when these power weapons start to come into play, that's when they tend to win their rounds. I do believe they were down to Oxygen at one point, or Team Sick by a couple of rounds on this map once, and then eventually when things start ticking over and long shots become available and a couple more utility grenades are there, causing problems, that's where they're starting to find a bit more luck. So Rated R will take these early rounds, but they will know what's coming in the ladder. And I just wonder if Rated R have somebody who can match Crazed in terms of the long shot if they choose to go in that direction.
You know what? I don't even think you have to. I think you wait until you put up that second upgrade on the home side just before they put the snipe down. And then I think in that break, you put the snipe down in a middle position and you fight for the sniper rather than just give Crazed it. And that for me leaves, the opposition with just another rifle essentially. It's a wasted pick. And then you also get the opportunity to try and get that long shot out of the fight. It's a strategy that I think Rated R could put into play if they've thought about this a little bit. I'm not sure you want to really match Elevate. I think your win condition essentially is in these scrappy fights. It's going to be close either way. Elevate, really good flashbangs. They've caught Rated R in a real bad spot here. Dragon's trying to make the most of it. Will get caught out though. And for all of that, 4 members dead on the side of Rated R. They will respawn back up. They will get back to C Hill, but that's going to be a real good advantage here for Elevate.
Yep.
As they go into the middle part of this section.
I think Slayers and the Dragons do well to get 2 kills out of that, in all honesty. Elevate looked like they were about to clean up shop. They did, but not without their own casualties. And now here come Rated R. The flashbang is not quite good enough onto Phelpsy or Craze, but they will have to back down due to some good lance of fire. A little angle from up top. It's just this little bit of cover where there isn't a lot of it, in all honesty. And Elevate had to escape through. They do manage it. That's a nice flashbang through, though. Phelpsy trying to get around the corner. The roll will slow him down ever so slightly. Will have to back on down, and Pains will get shut down as he tries to flank. Strikers has to back on down. Marsh is here with him as well. But Elevate holding onto this so well. Marsh now downed as well. Downed again. Phelpsy will quite happily clean up the third as well. Slater and the Dragons, though, is trying to get something going here. They're combining very, very well, and all of a sudden 2 members of Elevate have been knocked on down. But here come Jack, Vex, and Phelpsy. They're the ones trying to continue this fight for his team. Jack is the only one going right now, and Strikers is back up. But which way does this fight go? Jack is going to take down Crimsons after he finds Strikers. And just about you feel as if Rated R are going to win this fight. Although Jack Vex says we're still going, Slazen goes down as well. It's suddenly a 1v1 over towards the tank as Pains is here, all alone after a very, very long drawn-out fight. Elevate the slightly closer ones on the spawn, and Pains will go down, and Elevate grasp that fight from the jaws of defeat, if you like that. Rated R looked like they were in such a good spot. I tell you what, we're still going towards the tank at B. We're kicking off over towards A as well. It's backwards and forwards. Elevate are the ones in control of the round, though. They have A, they have B, and they have the lead crucially.
They do have the lead, and Rated R, they're making the right decision here. They're not respawning up. They've realized that their lives are getting real low. And they've got to be careful about what's coming later on in the half. It was a very, very intense, extended fight down at the tank, but honestly, Rated R didn't rotate round quick enough towards that home hill. There was a lot of time where it was completely unguarded. And in the end, their teammates, on the other side, on the tank side, are just paying for it with their lives over and over again. That's why we're seeing them down to 1 life already. Question is, where are we going to go? We're going to see that upgrade coming through on the Elevate side of things, heading towards that sniper probably. It is indeed the retro, and this is the point at which I'm kind of thinking, get the long shot down get the long shot down somewhere in the middle. If you come through and you win this round as Rated R, you've still got the option next round, but it's not a guarantee. If Elevate win, they get that first pick, and that long shot is going to go down on their home hill.
It's either that or Rated R either don't respect it. Maybe they say it themselves, right? That's fine. You can have the long shot, we're not too bothered. Which might be the case. You know, it isn't a weapon that can swing games as effectively as, say, like a drop shot, I would say. But in the right hands, it has the potential. Perez finds a couple of picks, and all of a sudden, you're laughing if you're Elevate, but Marsh is going to down Pains here. Marsh pushing forward as well. Just trying to keep them away, and there's this constant battle in and around the tank. It was a hell of a scrap last time round. And we get another one. Elevate.
Yeah, but you see what Elevate are doing here. Look at that minimap, Chris.
Yep.
You see them rotating straight away. They realize the full setup from Rated R was there. You cannot push that. So what we're going to do, we're going to get to that A hill very, very quickly. We're going to rotate our trailing 2 back towards the C hill to defend that and fight the 2v2 on our terms. In the meantime, we're going to get a double hill cap as well on this A side of things. It's a real smart play. It's a good move round. It's a nice rotation from Elevate. That's exactly what Rated R should have done last round.
Down coming in on Phelpsy in the mid-map. It's Marsh and Kono trying to find something. Hydron will find the better of them, though, and Dragons will drop as well. So maybe this is the moment that Elevate needed to make the push over towards it. Hydron coming around behind. Strikers is in the worst spot possible here. Slazen and himself need to get things going here. Slazen's going to find one, but that will be the end of that fight back out of Rated R. But they're coming up the respawn. Elevate are going to be able to lock this one in, or are they going to be able to defend it? We can see over towards C as well. We'll keep an eye on that fight. Number 6, that's going to be JackFX defending. We can see Elevate coming off the respawns as well. But speaking of coming off the respawns, here come Rated R. And which direction do they choose to go? It is on the cards, but if it is on the cards, Elevate will know this. They will back off, and they will make an advanced push over towards B. We've already got 2 members over there as well. We head over there now. Pains has been lanced down. Slazen might not be far behind. As Pains goes down, Elevate rotate around. It's perfect play on Vazgar.
Very, very nice indeed. Full capture here. But Elevate going to come through on the B hill. They are slightly behind in points, but that will tick back over to their side in just a second. They've got a defensive maneuver to pay here as Strikers finds a lovely Ape. We'll get that first kill on Hydron. And Hydron, he's been a threat throughout this game, so he's a great player to get out of the way. Straight on out of the bat. C hill going to get capped up. Dragon's going to go down. Got to be careful. Revive's going to come through, and it will be a trade. Craze is on the floor. Strikers now down on the side of things, and they're getting crossed in the side. It's real good crossfire coming in from Elevate. They've got a nice setup on that opposite side. It's Phelpsy over there with that crossfire coming in. Strikers, though, trying to make the best of it here. Does get the down. Will get cleaned up. That kill feed is entirely red, and Elevate have done really, really well to get this back. Now they're going to push on towards the A hill, where they should be able to get this elimination victory very, very quickly, given that 1v1 was won by Phelpsy.
Very, very nicely done. 2-1 now. You got a little bit touch and go towards the end there, but Elevate ultimately, as soon as they lock it in, it was very, very difficult for Rated R to come back on that one, just due to Elevate's good map positioning. And here we go. Elevate, no doubt, will be putting this long shot down 4 shots. Crazy to maybe try and impose his will on the map. And what do Rated R do? Do they go something a bit more conventional like loadout? Probably. They're a team who don't mind these big Nasher fights rather than relying on other elements of gears that Elevate have an abundance, no doubt. Rated R quite happy to play sticks and stones gears, whereas Elevate are really bring a sniper to a Nasher fight and let's see what Craze can do with it.
That's it. I mean, you find a headshot, fantastic. You turn the tide already in your team's favor. You find a body shot, those fights, those close quarter Nasher fights get so dicey when you're going in there because you're getting taken 85% off your health straight away, basically. So difficult. Strikers finding Crimsons is going to be big. But yeah, what I was saying about the long shot is that it can just open up opportunities so easy. And one Nasher shot, one snipe shot, and that's it. You find a down, you find a kill. It's not just about those headshots. Playing for the body checks is something Craze does very, very well. He also goes for the headshots when they're there. But if he can find a body check to let his team open up, absolutely he'll do that.
Well, he did find 3 body shots, but his team really weren't in any position to take advantage of that. But we'll see how the rest of the game goes with Craze. Then the sniper just takes a couple of moments here and there, and it's a couple of rounds here and there. But this fight seemingly going towards Elevate. Marsh does get a couple of downs in, but a lot of bodies are on the floor right now. Craze will be able to turn this one around, get his teammates up, and C should belong to Elevate. the shot grenade was not quite accurate enough, and they will just back on down from this, and then imagine they'll probably rotate over towards B, or will they? Will they stick around and try and keep a hold of this now? Strikers puts shots in, but has to back on down. The aggression coming out from Elevate. Marsh is suddenly the last one alive in and around the hill, and goes down very, very quickly. We mentioned lives. They have been leaking from both these two teams so far. Marsh will be down to 1 respawn. Hydron himself down to 1 as well, as is Slazen. So plenty of people in danger towards the end of this round here, but not quite everyone. There's a couple of players who should be safe as we head into the second half after this round.
I want to just keep an eye on Marsh as well, coming through the middle. This is not something you usually see, but he's managed to find a route straight through the middle with that flashbang to try and open up the play here. It does find one. Marsh is going to find the down on the other as well, and that's a really nicely coordinated play here by Rated R. I like what I'm seeing here, using that middle route. Not many players use that, not from, you know, end to end. They often go down those jump downs, but really good play by Marsh finding his way through the middle there.
Oh, if they can find these opening kills as well. Elevate are going to be in danger of being dominated as Strikers finds one, finds the down Jack Fex, and takes him down very, very easily. Elevate have rotated around, though. They were aware of what's going on there, and they will get a hold of B. But Rated R have a lead. They're about to have control of A and C, and they're about to have that win condition halved. Pains and Co just need to hold on here. They could do with winning this fight, but good shots by Hydron. He will find Pains. Marshall will find Phelpsy, though, on the other side of things. Slazen's going to have to turn around and do his best. Some good shots into Crazed. How the hell is Slazen downed him there? Bending bullets around walls at this point. He's got Strikers in tow as well. B is the objective for Rated R to try and get a hold of. Crazed is finished. Strikers and Co should be able to lock this one in. And barring a miracle, Rated R will be tying this one up. B decap towards Elevate, looking towards C though. Which way is that fight going? It's back and forth, but I tell you what, is it being decap? Not quite. The kills coming in for Rated R. 1 second for the win condition, and they will level it up at the half, 2-2.
Beautiful shotgun play at the end, wasn't it, around there at the tank to keep Rated R in it. That was a crucial, crucial series of shots there. The beautiful little wraparound reaction shot. Didn't even see it on the screen because he was, you know, in the spectator view, you don't see it. Player view, he was absolutely aiming behind him as he paid around that corner, and full spread, beautiful shot. Love what I'm seeing there from the side of Rated R, and yeah, tying it up at the half will obviously mean we see those hills rotate a little bit. You see the home hills on the southern side, I guess, the western side, but more importantly, those lives, they're back in the hands of all the players. Those respawns obviously drop another 2 seconds. We're going to see even more action here on Vaskar, as we do see Craze pick up that long shot once again. Strikers with the shot grenade. One bang from Hydron as well will start to open the play.
Well, the fight around the tank does continue. But of course, at the halfway point, we have changed things around. Pains will pick up 2, or 1 of them are down. Dragons will continue running, though, and this is where Rated R really like to play it. And this is probably why they don't respect the sniper of Craze, because they know if they win a couple of fights, suddenly they're on his face. And all of a sudden he's dead. And that sniper is somewhat wasted. Very nicely done. They get aggressive and they just keep running. They know he doesn't have the Lancet to pin us down, and he's going to have to hit a couple of cracking shots to stop the push coming through. Elevate, I'll push back just a little bit. We'll be able to get a hold of D once again, but where are Rated R concentrating their resources? It looks like E. You can see that Dragons is playing a little bit of a secret man here over towards D as well, so we'll keep an eye on that push as well. But Rated R aren't going to be able to quite lock E in, but their presence here means the fight will continue. Elevate trying to push over towards up top, though. They'll try and single out one man over there, but Strikers is going to drop round from behind. Marsh is the first one to go down, and Rated R are going to have to clutch up here over towards E. Slays and drops. Dragons finds Hydron on the home hill, though, so they should be able to get the decap there. It's an important win for him to get, as the rest of the team are pretty much falling across the map.
Have indeed. Dragons trying to get this cap in. Can he lock it in without going down? He will indeed do both. The D-hill, though, will very, very quickly get decapped once again, and Dragons has got another puzzle to kind of figure out here. How does he get out of this sticky situation? We'll leave him to it as we jump on board with Marsh, as they are playing over at this E-hill side of things. Marsh going to go down, flashbang in the hand. The revive won't come in time either. A nice cleanup coming through. Cog getting slayed out a little bit here. Slays in the next on the cards as he's going to fall down. Pains up on that top balcony. Will be in a 3v1 situation. Got to be so careful. Trying to get as much damage down as possible. Goes for the AP. Doesn't get anything. It is a back A in the end, but in the end, it's going to be his demise as he falls to Craze. Craze will lock in that hill and then start the rotation once again. It's like F-Hill is potentially the next defense that's going to come on for Rated R. Elevate doing really, really well here in this round. Points are close, but they've got full control.
Phelpsy, we wouldn't change you. Letting Dragons know about that fight being a little bit too easy will help with the shots into Pains as well, cleaning him up. There's the elimination. Just like that. It was looking like an Elevate round either way, but they will like that it's done in that way. 3-2 now. 2 rounds away for Elevate. Let's have a quick look at the scoreboard here. Has to be said, Rated R lagging behind a little bit in terms of the slaying department. Sniper hasn't necessarily been too much of an issue to deal with yet. But it just takes one good round from Crazed, and all of a sudden it can either be turned on its head or put in one direction, and that will be Elevates if he can manage to find a couple of heads. I think that's it with the long shot though, isn't it? It's all, I know the body shots are important, but if you don't hit your shots, it's completely ineffective and a bit of a waste of a weapon pick.
It is, and it also keeps you out of the fight as well, right? So
yeah,
it's twofold pretty bad. Raised. Get anything for that first shot. Teammates now fighting down at the tank. We'll try and get something happening here. Incendiary coming out from Pains, and that's lovely. Very well placed. He's going to pay for it with his life, though, and there's the second one. Jack going huge once again. He's got a third as well. Slazen's going to fall. And Jack has just turned the tide of this game. Craze looking for the headshot. Will get the body in the end. Pushing forward now. Will try and find Dragons. Will go and take this D hill from Rated R. And this is Rated R in a real bad spot thanks to a fantastic triple kill there by Jack Vex. Fantastic triple kill.
So good. The first two were fantastic, and he cleans up on Pains. Nicely done. And that's kept his team with a little bit of a foothold at F, because you would imagine that Rated R should have been able to push on through fairly easily. Hydra, though, just trying to keep them away. Rated R very much want to keep control of this stairs area if they can. It's sort of where the fight lies. Hydra will fight away from up top and keep Rated R away, and they will get a hold of E now. They have a hold of F, and Rated R need to develop a new plan.
They do indeed. Looks like that plan is going to include pushing on this F hill. Pains gets the down to open this one up. Got to be careful not to go down himself, though in a real bad spot. Will fall. Good revive coming through here, and then we'll just trade down for a second. And the first kill to come through here will really turn the tide of this game. It's going to be Strikers finding that kill on Jack. Pains pays for it with his life. Strikers finds a second. Slazen finds a third. Crazy is going to time himself out, and that, for all that play from Jack was fantastic, is equally matched by that of Rated R. And now they're on the E hill. They should be able to get a decent setup here. They should be able to even maybe push towards this win. Really depends on what Elevate do off the spawn. It looks like they're going to go towards the E hill. That's the right choice. Helps it delaying so much time as well. Does do a lot for his team.
I like how Dragons has just ran in head first. No support whatsoever. I like it from Dragons. I also hate it from Dragons. At times there is that aggression. You don't want to tone it back because that changes the sort of player that he is. If you're another member of Rated R, you don't tell him to stop doing that because on the odd occasion he'll pull off something crazy. But in that moment, you'd like him to maybe rein it in just a touch.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he realized he had Phelpsy pretty weak, so thought at least if he can train himself out, it's not the worst of plays. But yeah, I totally agree. In the end, should have backed out really. Similar to skills in the last game, saw it a couple of times, and as you said, you can't really rein these players in there. They're wild horses at the end of the day, right? They do what they do best, and that's what they do. They run. But sadly, Dragon pays for it with his life, as did Skills last game. Good incent coming out from Crimsons. Very, very close here at the top end of this round. 210 to 190. Swarm will win in 30. One break would do it for Rated R. They can get the cap in as well, but that's a good break from Elevate there. Really is good.
Yeah, Dragons would have had to produce the goods there. Not going to happen, but just ring around the rosy here on Vasco. Now Strikers, how's he found that one? Phelpsy thought he was an easy kill. Strikers is surely not going to find a third. He will go down eventually. But which way does this one go? The D cap coming in at D. Marsh is going to continue this one on. It's a COG team win condition, so that's Rated R, especially if they can lock in D. They're going to lose E, though, in the process. Pains is here, though. Can he try and find anything? Finds one, and the rest of the kills start to rain on through for Rated R. This is looking like their round. Dragons pushing over towards E. Is anybody anywhere to do something here for Elevate? It seems not. Rated R find a couple of clutch kills towards the end of round number 6. And they will make it 3-3 now. Close one. Very, very close one. That's a couple of kills difference on one side of things.
Yep.
And then that suddenly swings the opposite direction.
That's purely strikers. Purely strikers getting that
second kill was
on
ludicrous.
Yeah. Lovely, lovely back A. Comes through, cleans up, opens up a huge, huge amount of points for his team there.
Even the first
and
one.
I'd love to look at the scoreboard as well, just whilst we're waiting for these weapon picks to come through. As we do see there's incends on one side, shotgun on another. Pistol's going to go down as well on the swarm side of things.
Check on the scoreboard when we can, but Jackfex is having a hell of a game. Deary me.
Yeah, there we go. Hydra on 15 of 50. We see Strikers on 19 kills as well. Look at Jack, actually 20 and 17. Fantastic. Fantastic. 20
kills to 9 deaths, and there's 17 assists on top of it. Not a bad showing by Jack, considering some of the kills that he did find in and around this tank in one of the previous rounds. He's going to go down and be one of the first ones down here as well. Looking like it is going to be a rated R fight, you would think. Dragons don't even want to go down. Marsh is there to clean up as well. It will be a rated R fight. It will go in their favor, and they've got D in their sights too. Phelpsy here, backing it up. Boltok in hand. He's going to put plenty of damage down to Marsh, but is it enough? They're coming up off the respawn now here, Elevate. Are they going to be able to defend? Do Marsh and Cole just back off with what they've got, which is the decap? Seems as if they've lingered maybe just a little bit too long and they're being cleaned up. Elevate will say thank you very much. They will take D back and find the majority of the kills and will make a push over towards F.
Yeah, in that situation, I mean, Marsh, he unfortunately blocked his teammates in a little bit, but yeah, Dragon's just waiting. Dragon's trying to get the cheeky kill here. He's found Crimson's. Oh, he's missed a shot, and Crimson's going to make him pay. Just like that. Dragons will want that one back.
Oh.
That's not the one you want to see on stream, is it?
Oh,
We've only seen Dragons pretty much give his life up.
If that's anyone else in Elevate, they are letting him know about that for quite a few seconds. But rated R, they've managed to push all the way through E here. They're looking to get D. Elevate really can't do much about this. They're going to be coming off the respawn, and they're just trying to stay alive on either side. They can maybe pin them in. Maybe they can do something about this. Slazen and Co haven't been able to get a hold of D here. They could do with winning this fight up against Crazed, who pops over and says, see you later, Marsh. It's a good shot coming out, and they will eventually get a hold of D. And they will eventually be able to push out, but they're about to lose it, you would think, unless Strikers and Co can hold on. Slazen will punish Crazed for pushing far too far. Slazen now all alone momentarily. Strikers is back down. D&E all going over towards Elevate. Just takes a couple of kills to swing in one direction. Can Strikers get there in time? Not quite. Oh, and they just maybe lingered around D a little bit too long, and Elevate take advantage. 4-3.
The lives came into play there, though, as well, Chris. We got to look at that. We saw Dragons and Marsh both get timed out completely.
Wow,
they were
I
out of
was
lives.
just tunnel vision there. Apologies.
No, absolutely. I mean, the rated R defense was still strong despite it being 3v5, but in the end, the lives lost by Dragons, in that crucial situation there against Crimsons. That was, a big key part of it. And those lives early on in the half as well. Marsh, he's died a few times as well in suspect areas. Up perhaps on the Elevate home hill as an example. He blocked Slazen in, got caught out. He really needed to kind of engage happy feet mode and just try and bounce his way out of there. And he stayed way too long.
Just a little bit too long. Now Elevate one round away. But it is rated RV Elevate, so, I mean, inevitably, we're heading into round number 9. You would think. Striker's going to find the first kill. Striker's, I feel this has had a bit of a strange game. He's been flying at people and has been finding luck. Plenty of kills, but plenty of deaths. Speaking of deaths, so as mentioned, Dragons and Marsh were out of that previous round. You would like to think this should be an Elevate easy cleanup. Just need to find one kill on Dragons and Marsh and you're laughing. Or 2.
Or 3.
I mean, you couldn't find 3.
Things just settling down a little bit. We are seeing a play through the middle from Elevate. Gonna make a push around the back, trying to find this pinch. This is a nice play. Caught rated R off guard, but actually Strikers with a beautiful bit of lancering will come through and Find that kill on Hydra, and 5v4 now for the time being. What can Jack do? Find another worldly play. He's got one. Can he find a second? Marsh trying to make up for his last round. He's going to fall to Jack as well, but in the end, it's Strikers trading out Jack. Phelps in now 2v1 situation, looking for another. Strikers finds a third kill with his buddy Slays in at hand to finish it up, and Strikers has been performing today. He wants that flawless record. Absolutely so.
Keeping an eye on Marsh there at 0 respawns. He's really going to have to slow things down. Rated R, though. Do have it. Oh no, they didn't quite lock it in. Crazed and Co, we're here in time to keep them off it. They do have the lead though, crucially. Strikers, is he going to be taken down? He's going to be put down again, but are they going to be able to finish it? Not quite, but no more downs for Strikers. A decapped E works for Rated R. You can see on the other side of things, there's a bit of a stalemate going on between D and F. They have to leave somebody back there, but here we go. It's going to be Strikers' first one, and they're going to be the ones to make the first move. Jack's going to find Strikers, though. And all of a sudden, if you're Rated R, you are going to have to back the hell up. Plenty of members of Elevate here. They're going to need to find a kill. Slazen's going to go down now as well. Elevate's starting to flex their muscles. They should be able to get a hold of E. They're back on down for it. And now all of a sudden, if you're Rated R, you're going to have to turtle up a little bit. Marsh back here as well. He doesn't want to get sticky. That's why we're seeing him sitting all the way back at D. If you're Rated R, though, which way do you go? You go towards F, and if you look towards the minimap at the top right corner, Elevate are ready and waiting. Strikers, dead. Pains and Co have to make a decision on what to do here. They do have 35 seconds to try and catch up. They are still in the lead, but Elevate with that win condition. Marsh needs to do something now. Irrelevant of 0 respawns. He could do with some help from the rest of his team here, but the fight is going to be fought on 2 different ends. You can see Elevate getting aggressive over towards D. Pains is going to find the first kill over towards that side of things, but the rest of it goes towards Elevate. Dragons is out. Marsh really can't do anything on 0 respawns either. The COG team win condition was there, and still is there, actually, as they managed to actually lock it in. They've just about managed to hold on here, and this is actually going to be a 3v5 to win it. They hold on to D, and they just kept the hold, and they got the decap for long enough.
I don't know what I'm watching, Chris. I don't
even
know
how that happened. I thought Elevate were in full control.
It looked like it. They had the kills. You saw the kill feed. It was all red. But I guess the quick respawns coming in definitely would have played a part there, and some absolute magic as well on the side of the Rated R members that were still alive came through. Beautiful, beautiful play.
2 cap for Elevate, win condition for Elevate, kills for Elevate, 3 people on the map with 1 point for Rated R, and all of a sudden we're in round 9. I do not understand how that's happened. We're going to have to watch that one back.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just tunnel visioning again. I don't know.
We've got to commend Marsh and Dragons as well. They were both on 0 lives, but they made the play. They gave up their life. Dragons actually gave up his life to make the play, to make the decap, to give his team the opportunity to go through. And without that, they would have not had the opportunity. So they even played with their last life to try and win that one through. And that was so well played by Rated R in the end. You've got to give it to them. They deserve this chance at this map. They deserve this opportunity around 9. It's going to come right down to the wire once again. It was 4-4 last time they met up on this map. It's 4-4 again. We're going to see it split by that last round.
Well, here we go in round number 9. Crazed hasn't really done a great deal with that long shot, and what a round to do it would be. The inside is solid from Jackfax. Dragons is going to be taking down the aggression coming in here from Elevate. We so often associate the aggressive big players with Rated R, but Elevate have really been forcing their will. That's a bad Incend going to come in there as well, completely wasted. DNF in the favor of Elevate. Dragons is one of the players to go down as well. He's on 0 respawns for the rest of this round, and there is a long time to play in this.
Yeah.
And if anyone on 0 respawns, you do not want it to be Dragons.
Yep, and you would have thought he'd have been at the back, right? I mean, getting caught out by that Incend. It's a long throw as well. You could have dived it. Difficult play by Dragons, but he's put himself in the situation by making so many kind of reckless plays in the earlier rounds. It's rough to see. Now they're going to be so careful to keep him alive. Payne's going to fall down as well. He's going to be careful. He'll be on 0 as well if he dies out here. Good kill coming in on Hydra, and that's what they need. Hydra now down on 0. If they can clean him up, they might have a shot at this one. Slazen is going massive. Finds another kill. Will get taken out. Marsh gets the revive off as well, and Dragons, he's playing medic duty at this point, but he's got to be careful. He's going to get taken out, as we can see Marsh now down on 0 as well. Payne's trying to make the plays, and he is not able to make the 2 as the Incend gets picked up by Marsh, and this is so back and forth. We are going to see Hydra on 0, Dragons on 0, Marsh on 0. Look how weak they are.
Rated R really can't lose a gunfight. They're in control. They have the win condition. It's about a minute. They just need to lock this in. There's no playing the ring around the rosies and trying to just win team fights on this one now. You need to lock this in if you're rated R. And you just need to keep a hold of it. You need to win this fight, and you need to win it fairly cleanly. Strikers and Slazen can go down, but if you can find Hydron, that will be the bonus. We can already see Hydron chilling. He's basically in his spawns. Striker's in a bad spot. He's going to go down potentially here. He will do. Marsh is going to find the re-kill, though, onto Crimson, so we'll answer back.
Defense.
Really good defense so far. Phelpsy is going to drop to Marsh. Slazen did drop, but not quite all the way. Dragons and Marsh yet. Trying to stay alive for their team the best they can. The long shot has been picked up by Chris. Keep an eye on that one. Marsh has been down. Has Marsh been taken down? Not quite. Strikers is there to clean it up, though. Cog team win condition is still here. They've had 0 lives the majority of the round. They somehow caught their way back into the last. And Rated R are surely going to be locking in a 1-0 series lead here, and they will do. From the depths of round number 8, they come out swinging in round number 9. They lock it in. They go perfect. And they will take a lead in the series.
You have to give it to them, don't you? That man there, Strikers, has been performing on his head. 26 and 11 up at the top of the table there. A really, really good scoreline for anyone. And against an opponent like Elevate, what a time to do it. What a game we've just seen, Chris. What a game. 4v5, a 3v5 round win. A round where everyone is on 0 lives right at the end there, and they have to play it perfectly, and they do just that. It was so well played by Rated R, and you have to give it to Elevate. They put up such a fight, but the clutch factor came through.
It's that round number 8, isn't it? That's really the teller. But then you think in that round number 9, yes, okay, Hydron on the side of Elevate's on 0 respawns. There is 3 members on 0 respawns if you're rated R at one point. Yes, okay, it is towards the last stage of the round, but they maybe find 1 or 2 of those, and then suddenly you're in such a good position. But they couldn't find the kills, and rated R just defended so well. Phelpsy, he was pushed up, but Marsh finds the kills onto him. Strikers nearly went down, but then they managed to grab a hold of him just about in the end, and just a couple of clutch kills here and there, and they get it done within 9, and that was Elevate's pick as well. Rated R will be feeling very, very nice heading into District, but honestly, I think for the most part, picks and bans between these two teams mean very little because we know how close they can be on every single map. We've seen District go 2 different directions, of course, every single time. It's just so hard to pick. If we head over towards Asylum with either team winning the opposite team's pick, it really wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't have surprised me if you told me that before the game, honestly. But what a game on Vascar. No. Rated R will take the lead, and we head into District, and then just want more of that. Just more of that, please. Keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before the game, it went 5-3, 5-3 last time. It absolutely could shape up to be, another barn burner like we've just seen.
Yep.
I can't get over it. We have to say, though, that long shot did not come into play whatsoever. It was absolutely void of any use on that map. And in the end, it was the incends, the grenades coming through that were really, really impactful for Rated R. So, yeah, I have to give it to Rated R. Their weaponization was better in the end, and they made use of it, despite those, players being on 0. And also, just, credit where credit is due. They kept Marsh alive. They kept Dragons alive so many times. Slays Strikers, body blocking. They were just really, really on top of their game when it just came to not letting that 0 mean much.
And I think it was just the way that they set up in that last round as well, though. They knew they had the advantage. It was 60 seconds they needed to hold on for, and they just lanced and just did not let Elevate anywhere near it. And ultimately, if you're Elevate, you need to get near. You need to get up close and personal. You want to try and find those kills. They couldn't lance it back because they're the ones that have to make the move. I know we got District loading in a second, but what a game of Vascar that was. And I said it suddenly turns towards that end of that round where Rated R have so many little lives and you have nothing to really throw to the wind. You can't throw caution to the wind at that point, which is Rated R's style of play for the most part, isn't it? It's we 5-man team fight no matter what. We go in, we be aggressive. However, at that point, they couldn't, and they still held on very, very well with their Lancers. And as I said, we'll take a 5-4 Vascar heading into their map pick on District, which we haven't seen in quite some time. So I'm interested to see how these two teams go up against each other here on this map. And I do wonder whether we'll be seeing Asylum. I wonder. Because technically, yes, okay, this is Rated R's pick, but as I just said, it wouldn't surprise me if either one of these teams takes the other team's pick.
Yeah, well, I will say last time they met up, and that was early this season, right? Summer match 2. It was a 5-3 win to Rated R on District, so they are 1-0 on this map in terms of their performance against Elevate this quarter. The time before that was the very end of the spring quarter, and they lost that 5-3. So it's it's very back and forth. These matches
Yeah.
were not split by a big amount of time. I don't expect Rated R to have flipped a 5-3 loss to a 5-3 win and that be their standard in that amount of time. But it absolutely does show that this could go either way. Absolutely, we could see that Asylum coming through. Absolutely, and I think after what we've just seen on that map, the teams seem to be performing very, very similar, right? They're making a couple of small mistakes here and there, but all in all, their gameplay seems to be very good. They're playing well as a team. And District, that's a real crucial point. Yes, you get those head-to-head opening fights down at the cinema, down at the bandstand, but it's all about teamwork. It's all about positioning, and the teams seem to be doing well on that front. So I think we're going to see a real good opener, real good set of initials going into District, and that will hopefully transition to that mid-round as well, and we'll see some very, very close rounds.
Yeah, I think that's what we want to see. These big fights are very, very entertaining, but it's not just about that on District. But it's a part of District I like the most, I have to say. When it comes down to these middle fights, it's been so often backwards and forwards between these two. And I wonder if we're going to see a very standard sort of sticks and stones kind of gears where, flashes and then shocks and then it comes to incense, etc. Or are we going to see the big drop at cinema and just say, right, okay, let's go and scrap? Like, that's what I would love to see, don't get me wrong. But I wonder which direction this one will go. I imagine we're eventually going to see that sort of thing towards the last stages of the map. However, we're nearly ready to load in. I can see the teams are there and ready to go. Hopefully we can get started very, very shortly. What are we thinking now? I know it's the hardest question to ask between these two, Elevate and Rated R. If I was leaning in any direction, I would lean towards a Rated R 2-0 now. Because, it just makes sense based on the picks and bans. But as I've just said multiple times, it's hard to ever count on just that when you're talking about these two teams. So, I don't know. I would still, if I was leaning on it, it's slightly towards Rated R, but only very slightly.
Yeah. It's just ticked over a couple of notches.
Just a little bit.
I have to go the other way.
Okay.
I think Elevate are one of the most resilient teams I've ever seen in Gears, full stop.
You're not wrong.
And I don't think that they're going to go out without a fight. I think we might see Asylum, and I think that District will go their way. But realistically, it all depends on that opening segment. Phelpsy in that middle street is a real strong presence. And when he can shut down his opposition, Elevate tend to walk rounds on District. They find it really easy. But if Phelpsy isn't able to open up that kill in the middle street and isn't able to find that, that pressure off the bat, that's when his team start to crumble a little bit because they're not too great at that opening, fight down the low side, especially if a big weapon gets placed there and there's a lot of people down there. So yeah, I'm interested to see what's going on in that middle street. I think that really is the catalyst for that fight, that opener. And it usually is Phelpsy at least that plays there. I might be talking gas, but we'll see. It usually is, and he's usually playing a real good game there.
Let's see then. Going into District and see the games are now loading in. I said I'm going to stick with my lean towards Rated R, but it is a very, very slight 4 or 5 degree lean towards the side who are going to lock in first. As said, Elevate must win this game to finish second. If they do not, it will be Oxygen, and Elevate will be heading into the finals with that 3rd seed.
They will. And I just thought of something else that this impacts, Chris, that we've not touched on at all. So last quarter, yes, we saw Rated R win the league, right? We saw them come through. They won at the end. Mm-hmm. What happened is, though, they lost that major. And actually, Elevate, they did finish technically first in the Pro League because of the points you get from the major. If Rated R win today, and I know we're going into the intro, but I think this is important to finish. If Rated R win this match today, they go 3 points clear of Elevate. And that is the 3 points that they would lose if Elevate were to win that major. So as long as Rated R win this, and as long as they don't finish lower than Team Sick in the major, they've guaranteed first place. They've guaranteed the Pro League money as well.
Well, there you go then. So this does mean a lot more for Rated R than maybe we alluded to at the beginning of the series. Yes, okay, they would still have wanted to win it, but that extra caveat of locking in first in the Pro League earns you a little bit extra cash. Hydra will be dropped there. Combination of a couple of good shots coming in from Rated R, who I was about to say have just about won this initial, I would say. Dragons is the only one to go down, whereas 2 went down from Elevate. Strikers will have to back on down here as he's going to be chasing this corner by Phelpsy. Good wrap around. Finds one. Had support with him as well. Crazed is here to try and get a hold of B when he can, but there's players lingering around. Dragons now has to back on down. Crimson's is going to be dropped. So now ultimately Crazed has to back on down to try and help him out, but it is actually Hydron and Crimson's and Phelpsy, sorry, making this push. Dragons is not able to help. Dragons is only able to go down. Really good play by Elevate in the end. It was a bit touch and go, and they will find the kill on the Strikers on top of that as well. Nicely done by Elevate.
Very, very nicely done. Phelpsy, that's the man I was talking about there. 3-1-0 already. Good start to his district map here. Jack on the defense here against Marsh. Just backing off, he knows he's got a teammate in tow. Hydron in the 1v, up by this B hill. Will try and lock this one in himself. Bit of fast movement, has got a teammate just turning it up. It's Crazed. Domination going to tick through in just a few seconds, forcing the play to come through from the Swarm side of things. Swarm are going to get hold of that C hill, but you can see the offense coming through now. All 5 members of Elevate. They are heading over towards this home hill. They're going to try and fight this one out. They've got a few seconds to do so before the players of Rated R come off spawn. In the end, it's a good defense, but they're going to be careful. C hill getting decapped. Domination will tick.
It's just about denied. It's the big fight, though. These respawn timers are very, very long, and I think if you're Elevate, you're probably back on down. You got the lead, you got what you need. But they will continue. They win a couple of gunfights, so they will keep the pressure on. Dragons will drop. C is surely only a matter of time before it goes over towards Elevate, and they just keep them at bay, and there you go, 1-0. They will lock round number 1 in 2 minutes and 17 seconds. And it's just about running with your advantage there if you're Elevate, isn't it? You don't back down. Find a couple of gunfights in your favor, and all of a sudden, you can keep that pressure up and find a 1-0 lead.
Can indeed. See where they go here. Phelpsy hovering that loadout pistol. Utility in the end it actually is, as he's going to get a flashbang for that middle fight. Dragons has the opportunity now to take the lead in terms of map placements if he goes to either the arcade or Pergola. Looks like they're thinking about the Pergola side as a first place to start building up. Quick switch to the arcade at the end. It will be the smokes at the bottom side of things. I think they're just heading for a bigger fight down at that bandstand later on in the game. Make sure that they've got that weapon placement fully locked up, fully loaded up.
Phelpsy and Co, can they continue this? It's just about an initial win for Rated R, but what can Elevate get going here? They get plenty of cover down low here, do Rated R, and he's going to continue to push forward, and Hydron just deals with him ever so easily. And he find the second here as well. He does have a little bit of help as Marsh continues to push forward. Marsh very weak, and Hydron over the top of the cover will find him. Slazin should be able to get the revive in, and they will stop him from cleaning Marsh up. Former teammates, of course. Which way to Rated R go with this push? It looks like C is what they've got their eyes on here, but Elevate have B, and they're posting up inside of Juice very, very nicely. Or inside of Info, I should say. And it's going to be very difficult for Rated R to do anything here because it's such an easy transition over towards C. It's an easy transition over towards B. But which way do Rated R go? It looks as if they're hitting it from 2 different fronts here. There's a fight going on over towards B. Which way is that one going to go? We'll keep an eye on that one on the minimap as well. But this one over towards C is just about going over towards Elevate as Phelpsy clutches up and finds the last 2 kills. Rated R will get a hold of B. So it's a good move from them in the end. But Phelpsy, a very easy overextension over towards it. Although Rated R are here to answer the call.
They are indeed. Phelpsy lucky there, really, that they weren't much closer and they had those Lancers out. Just gave him a little bit of time to get out of that A-hill. Didn't able to get that decap to start things off with, but in the end, Payne's going to get another kill. Looking for his second here, getting shot in the back as well. That's beautiful from Payne. He's going to get Hydron. He's going to get a spot in the clip of the week as well, if I have anything to say about that, because that was absolutely disgusting. Lovely work by Paynes, and now going to be chasing down to support his teammate Marsh over here in the info. You see Payne's flying in on that right-hand side. 2v1 situation. Jack, can he do anything about it? He's going to get one. There's that meat shield, and now he's going to force Paynes out the window as well. Really well played. Good clips going back and forth between these two teams.
Both of them going above and beyond in this game. Jack was waiting for the push to come on through here, but Rated R currently about to dominate. Is Jack he's not even anywhere to do anything about it. This fight goes on far too long inside of info. And then suddenly they can't answer the call anywhere else. And that's far, far too easy for Rated R to lock in the domination just like that. Far too easy.
It was indeed. They just made use of the fact that Elevate, they put a lot of pressure into fighting that middle fight. There was no one really there to help things out. Incendiary's getting locked in down here on Rated R. That's going to be a huge advantage for this fight, but no, really, they're kind of at the wrong side to do anything with at this point.
That will be a slight disappointment for Elevate that they managed to lose that one in that way. So we will continue. Pains and code up. We're going to find a little bit more of that, just positioning on the map. Better in their favor. Hydron with the shots in. As we start this initial once again, it just seems to be allowing the team, whoever's there first in that middle courtyard, you would just allow them that pressure. You just try and sit back and do something with it. Strikers and Kodo using the smokes well. The Incend not going to find anything. You know, that Incend would have been fantastic for now when Elevate looked to try and retake this one, but Strikers try to take that advantage and run with it. Either way, they get in, they get A, they lose A very, very quickly. But Rated R put the pressure on here at the beginning of round number 3.
They are trying to fight across the board. They get the kill on Hydron as well. That will open things up as well, but Kraze gets hold of the B hill. That's going to stretch Rated R just a little bit as they are down to a 1-cap hold at this point in time. Rated R trying to make the play here on the A side of things. Jack running headfirst into 3 members of Rated R. Rated R doing well. They get the kill on Kraze as well. And this is real good play. They've got to be careful though, Crimson. As he snuck through, he's going to get that decap on the C hill. Will pay for it with his life. But in the end, he does slow down the push from Rated R, and that's all that he was really trying to achieve. Domination ticket for 5 seconds there. Good play by Elevate. Stop that ticket through, and now Hydron has got a lot in his hands to try and get a few kills here. As Dragons is stepping up in front of him, he's going to take the full brunt of that shotgun, and look at that kill feed, all blue. As we do see Marsh start to interrupt it, gets 2 of his own, now looking for a few other kills. Has to run off because he's the only one alive remaining. If he dies here, the elimination comes through, and he's got to be so careful, playing his absolute mind out. That's the happy feat I was talking about. Gave his team time to come off spawn, and now 4v4 situation. Marsh has done a really, really good job there just to delay this map, just let things set back up in that middle.
Very, very nicely done. Found those 2 kills and then stay alive as long as possible. Payne's just about ticked in just before he went down. And Rated R still keep a hold of what they had. They come off respawn quick enough. Although it is Elevate with that middle map pressure. They have that locked in. Did Striker see the push coming in from Phelpsy? Yes, he did. It should be an easy enough kill to clean up as well. Can he find Kraze in the middle? Not quite. Jackfax is there now to support and help him. Hydron finds 2 over towards B as well. Striker's about to drop as well. Also to the hands of Hydron. Jackfax will clean that one up, but B now in the hands of Elevate, and they will continue looking for more, as they so often do. Rated R have such a decent lead here that they have to keep on going, but Jackfax coming around behind, made the push through info. Can he be the one to lock in C here? They at least get the decap, but they need a domination or an elimination here if you are Elevate. The score difference is far too high. Cog continuing to threaten that domination. Phelpsy and Jack, though, have to go once again as the rest of Rated R coming off the respawn. They both go down. This should be a Rated R round with 15 seconds to go.
It should be. Hydron is trying to make the play around the back. He got spotted out in the end. The defense is going to be here on this C hill. Crazed is going to go down. Rated R, they're going to have done enough here. They're going to lock in a second round. Really, really nice play by them to keep the defensive side of things up there. And it looked really, honestly, like it was going to be an Elevate round. They had the kills, they had the positioning. It just didn't really make much of it. Rated R come through with it. There's once again Marsh as well, being a pain behind them on that kind of open area just outside the hotel. Really just distracting Elevate. Pulling them off their mark a little bit.
2-1 now to Rated R. 2 rounds in a row. Good play from them. Incend's going to go down towards the bandstand side of the map. So not going to influence the fight necessarily towards B. But when we start heading into the second half, of course they are going to be very, very relevant. Payne still getting aggressive once again. Both these teams happy to give control of this mid-courtyard over. As said, See though, Rated R not just want to take Courtyard, but want to take a little bit more. And for all that, they've let control of Bandstand go over far towards Elevate far too easily. And this transition through the middle of the map is beautiful from Elevate. They run through right down the middle. Just cut through Rated R far too easily. Strikers is surely dead as well. Yes, he is. A very, very nice round out of Elevate so far. Plenty of members of Rated R already dropping. And all of a sudden, they're pinned back in towards it.
That they are. That they are indeed. Trying to push out. I don't know if they've noticed that Hydron's here. They are checking the corners though. Good flashbang coming out by Hydron. That hits like 3 members of Rated R. That gives his team an opportunity. Got such a good crossfire on this bag in front of him that he can't really push through. Jack's going to get that first kill. Another down comes through in the back. Gotta be careful here. Cog will dominate in just 5 seconds. Ugh, and absolutely rightly so. They've played that so well. A great trap set up there in info. Dragon trying to make the most of it. Will delay for just a few seconds, but maybe a little bit too little, too late.
Yeah,
as he's only got 1 teammate to help.
And that is ultimately ridiculous from Elevate. They run down the middle, they get all the kills, they try to set up towards A, and it's an absolute massacre inside of Juice. And the fact that Elevate managed to get out of that with only 1 death until they make the push over towards A is so important as well. Rated R fall 2 apiece. And they've been very, very different rounds, haven't they? Every single one of them. A couple have been sort of stolen under the nose from Elevate with a random domination coming through with members still up for Elevate on the side of Rated R. Others have been very quick eliminations. Some have been points all the way through. Some have been a very comfortable domination. You've had a bit of everything here on District so far. We're tied at 2 apiece at the half. All lives were reset, and of course we will be heading over towards Bandstand for the mid drop now. But here we go, a little bit more aggressive from both teams in the middle. Phelpsy is the one that we mentioned beforehand that likes to get sticky here in and around the fountains. He's going to get those first shots in, but look at the presence from Rated R over towards Bandstand. Chris can't do much about it. He might have put himself in a bad spot. He is eventually going to be able to deal with Dragons. Can he find the second one as well? Not quite. Drops far too easily. And Rated R just about win that mid-exchange.
Yep, just about. And they've got the position off it. If they can get the kill off Crimsons, that would be a nice bonus as well. They are going to get that lovely shot there coming in. Phelpsy forcing Rated R to back off this home hill. We'll be able to get that cap in just a second if actually Rated R decide to flush back on in. Can we do anything about it? That's the question. Rated R, I think, have just been a bit of a nuisance at this point.
They do like to be a nuisance, don't they? It's one of those where they're just very good at picking away and being in places you don't want them to be. Strikers is once again, though, going to have to play a medic. Crimsons will have to back on down, and Dragons will survive that. So back over towards Bandstand we go. It's Rated R with the control. It's a map where if you can get a couple of clean kills down and you try and get set up, I don't want to say it's easy to lock it down, but it's difficult for Elevate to make this push out cleanly, I would say.
Yeah. It is difficult, especially against the full setup. He's going to try his best, though. You see him just trying to find a little opening route here. Checking his corners as he goes. Got that flashbang, got that crossfire for his team.
Shots by Crimsons. Christ helping out with the Lancer, and for all that we said, it's difficult to get out. It looks like Elevate are having a good job at it. It's a good flash by Hydron. Not going to be able to do much with it, just delay that push coming in out of info. Big fight going over towards the cinema here, but Phelpsy has dealt with Marsh. Hydro now, just not in a position to win that fight. Pains is there to try and lock it in as Phelpsy continues to push through from cinema. F is the only thing Rated R have, and they had full control not that long ago. Elevate have just chipped away, and that's a great incend. Jack Fex grabs, I think that was actually Rated R's incend as well. It's gotta hurt. If you are Rated R, Cog win condition of 40 seconds. Rated R still with the lead, though. If they can get back into this game, they will be right back into it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they would. Not a huge point lead at all. They just need 1 kill, 1 decap. That should be enough, really. Jack's so weak. Can they make the push here? Oh, Strikers, that's a very, very dangerous play there. So dangerous. paid for it with your life, and rightly so. Making plays like that with the round on the line. Actually, now the team has to carry you. They have to go through. They've managed to get the decap here. Hydron wasted that incendiary. Can they do anything on the D hill? They'll get the decap there, but depends what's going on at the E hill. Slazin has to win. Crimson's has got one. Crazed has got the other. It's going to go to Elevate, and they're going to find themselves 3-2 up.
Just about enough from Elevate in the end, and you wonder if a couple of lives I played it a little bit better on the side of Rated R. Maybe they're in a better spot to try and make that last-ditch effort. Getting towards these rounds now, where I'm wondering if we're going to see a mid-drop, but I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see it. I think if this round goes over towards Elevate, maybe Rated R say, right, okay, let's see what you're made of in the middle of the map. But as it goes, I think they may just be conservative for now.
Yeah.
Which is a goddamn shame.
It is, but we've seen this where we've seen drop shot and boom either end of this map, and it's been a bit chaotic. So the reason they're building up these loadouts and these incendiaries to start with, they're for exactly that, just in case either team does decide to go big, play something down in the middle. They have all the tools in the bag to try and win that initial, to try and fight for it. So I understand why both teams, they're basically trying, just to kind of psych each other out a little bit here. Phelpsy in this middle position does get 2 beautiful shots there down. We'll get the cleanup as well. Still very, very red. Got to be careful, but in a safe enough position nonetheless.
Once again, it's Elevate who just about win this mid battle, but Rated R don't seem to be committing to it as much. But now here comes the push in. Chris is able to find one. Strikers is able to answer back. Phelpsy, though, can he do anything from the mid-map in this direction? Eventually will be able to clean up the kill onto Strikers. Very, very well played. Just transitions over very nicely. Pretty red right now, though. We'll have to back hunt down. The rest of the team are here to help out, though. Good shots into Pains. He just does enough. He doesn't need to chase that kill. Gets the shots in. Backs on down. And knows that Rated R now have to wait. The rest of the team can now come in to help him, but he's in a bad spot now. He is going to get eventually smoked out of the middle of the map. Hydron continuing to lock down this side of the map, though, for Elevate. And they're in a commanded position in this round here for...
They are. They're still stemming from this control that they've got on that mid street. Phelps on one side, Hydron at the other. Domination about to tick in just a second, and there's absolutely nobody there. Strikers didn't even make the move. Map point now for Elevate to try and tie this one up, to try and send it to Asylum. You've got to think 4-2 up. They shouldn't throw this one right. I mean, we saw them 4-3 up last time around. Yeah, they had a little bit of a sticky 8th round. But at 4-2, you've got to give this one to Elevate. They've done enough to try and come through and take this map.
Do it.
Which side it's going to be at? This is the question, though. Where's Striker going to place it? Bandstand is being hovered. The drop shot has been placed. And with all these initial tools in the bag as well, as I was mentioning in the start of the last round, it's going to be explosive. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be full force as well. Both teams going to put all their effort into this opener.
Who can land your flashes? Who can land your incense? Let's see. Let's get the bandstand and let's party. Jackfix, it's an absolute massacre over here. What the hell's going on? It looks like it's going to go Rated R's way. It is. It's just like that. Drop shot in hand. Crazed is the only one to answer. Slazin is able there to find the kill on him as well. And now, I mean, that's ultimately, it's not going to be the round, but it's a fantastic start for Rated R, but it's going to come down to this. I think if Elevate do go on to lose this round, I would say, it wouldn't surprise me to see the drop shot banned out next. Honestly, they don't want to have to put it all into that risk of that middle fight. However, they are fighting back fairly well. That drop shot is still available, and it is with Dragons.
It is with Dragons. I mean, he's had good uses with it before. He's not a bad drop shot player by any means, but, Elevate, they've already got this from underneath them, and I don't mind not using it there because you've got the point lead. It doesn't really matter too much if it's decapped. They've just got to stop the cap, but you've got to also stop your teammates getting 2v1'd here, and it looks like Phelps is full steam ahead. Dragons has rotated, and Pains is going to pay for that with his life. Crimson's just got taken out in the middle, which is useful, and Pains is doing such a good job just to draw the pressure. Alive. Yeah, he just needs to not go down here. If he just stays in that corner, heals up, he'll be okay. He will be okay. Phelpsy, though, he's found Marsh. He will not be okay. Dragons as well, going to fall. Jack will get taken out. The revive isn't going to come through as Hydron picks up that meat shield, and Hydron's going to go clutch mode once again. getting that second, getting the big boot down, and will get the hill for his efforts. So back and forth, and everyone's in such a weird place here. Looking at Phelps, he's all the way over at the locust spawn, the swarm spawn, sorry. Strikers once again, though, got to look at his lives. Coming down to that point again, isn't it, where Rated R, they just die a little bit too much.
They have that point lead. However, they did absolutely nothing with that drop shot. Not a thing. Marsh is going to bait out that Incendo and put the shots into Phelpsy as well. Oh, you have to be very, very careful. There's quite a few of them around there. Marsh will find Crazed and will somehow get out with his life. I think the support and fire coming in from the team was very, very solid. Crimson's, though, is going to be able to find the Incend onto Slazin. However, Rated R are just about going to be able to lock in E here. Dragons on 0 respawns, Strikers on 0 respawns, though. Marsh with the drop shot. Rated R need to be clean for the rest of this round.
They do. 30 seconds is not a terrible amount of time, but it is when you're going to be 4v5. Drop shot coming out. Is it going to connect? No. Boltok misses as well, and that's huge by Hydra. And if you can get this decap in, that is a big, big advantage for Elevate. They've halved that time to win. Phelpsy on the other side of things is getting things done as well. Good incent coming out. Jack's going to fall as well. So is Craze, and this is big for Rated R. They've managed to get 4 kills here. It's only Crimson's left alive. Marsh misses the second drop shot now, trying to find the win over his old duo. Will connect with the Boltok. The elimination is going to come through, and Elevate will concede this round. They will not respawn. And we're going to see a 4-3 game now. Surely not again, Chris. Surely not again.
The respawns, though, still just about favor Elevate here. If Rated R can win a clean drop shot fight, though, suddenly we're talking. Is he going to block anything out here, I wonder? I'm not too sure. I really don't know which direction the team's going on this one. Disable goes in on Elevate's Incend, which surely means the Disable will come in on the other side of things for Rated R. So no incense at this big fight towards the bandstand. Is that going to affect it? Flashes are still going to be available. Slazin maybe blocked a little bit there, but the first one's there. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get out with it. A little bit of Lancer fire coming in here from Pains, but already it was Pains very, very weak as he's about to make the push on through, and this should be Elevate's drop shot. Jack is going to get out with it, and that is too easy. They get out with that far too easily for that. For me, they're through.
Yep, I totally agree with you. I think that really wasn't easy, and Strikers is going to be careful not to lose his life here as well. You find that kill, you've got him down to 0 lives, and I just don't think Jack knows who it is behind that pillar. I mean, you know, you've got a 3 out of 5 chance to find someone with 1 life, but knowing is different to guessing, right?
He may send this in over towards Slazin, but Jackpack's probably just going to play defensively with this now. It's going to be Elevate with a slight advantage, of course, due to the fact that they pick up their home hill a little bit quicker, but for all the pressure that Elevate got at the beginning, Rated R didn't lose much. They didn't lose many members, so Elevate couldn't necessarily take as much as they wanted to in that scenario, but the important thing for them is that they do have that drop shot. Just trying to figure out where everybody is. Jackfax sends that one over, though. Is he going to find another one in the middle as well? Oh, it's so well played. And there's that little bit of pressure that they wanted. There's that little bit of map control that they needed. Strikers on 0 respawns now. Dragons heading for the hills as well. They have to be so careful of this domination ticking on through. Everybody from Rated R has to fly towards D. Elevate get off it momentarily, and it might allow Rated R in, but Hydron's found one. Is he going to be able to force a map number 3 here out of Elevate? It looks as if Rated R are just about going to be able to hold on. I say that as Phelpsy pops around the corner, finds one. The domination is denied over towards Edo. Payne's trying his best to keep things going. Strikers is already out. Dragons is down to 0 respawns. Payne's is down to 0 respawns. It's looking ever so hopeless for Rated R. 5 seconds till the domination ticks in once again. It's just always there for Elevate. E has been decapped and somehow Rated R are still in this round. But I can't imagine for very much longer as Paynes and Strikers are out. The domination is about to tick in as Jack finds 2 in the middle. We are heading to map number 3 with a 5-3 victory for Elevate. And we wouldn't have it any other way, would we? Over to Asylum we go
not.
To decide the game between these 2 titans of Europe.
We would not have it any other way. I said they were resilient. They've proved me right. And honestly, Jack in that last round was something else. Perfect drop shot placements.
Yeah.
Much unlike his counterparts on Rated R the round before. And at the end there as well, a nice double kill as well to finish it off. Really, really well played by all members of Elevate. But Jack with those crucial kills, opening up the play. Really good power weapon usage. Really good to see us going to a map 3.
It was absolutely perfect, in all honesty. From Jack, finds those two massive kills. One of them was on Strikers, who was on one respawn at that point as well. So that's big in that sense. And I think the only thing for Elevate here is that they will be kicking themselves that this is not a 2-0 with the way that Vazgar played. Outright are fortunate to still be in this series. We head over towards Asylum with it all to play for. And I tell you what, I'm leaning back in the other direction now. I'm backwards and forwards. I think, honestly, the way that Elevate have played those first 2 maps, I said I feel as if they were probably unfortunate to lose Vazgar. I Rated R clutched up massively. Absolutely, you give them props, but Elevate were the ones that put themselves in the position to win that map, and that was a lot more clean on District, in fairness as well. Honestly, these two teams are so hard to separate. And my biggest wish for the finals at the end of July is that we have potentially this matchup again in the finals. Oxygen will be there and want to say otherwise, no doubt.
Yeah.
But these two teams have been at the top of Europe every single quarter. I would love to see a massive grand final against these two against each other. We didn't really get it last time. We got the grand final, but we didn't get the close game we were expecting. And that was probably my only disappointment from the Spring Major. I hope we get a fantastic game between these two when the chips are really down. They're down at the moment, but I mean, the chips are down at the end of the month. So we will see how that one goes, but we will still have to see how this one unfolds. And of course, the repercussions of this will be felt by another team. Oxygen will be looking at this and hoping for Rated R to clutch up here on Asylum. If Elevate get it in, they will lock in second place in the Pro League and will lock in that second seed heading into the finals. But Asylum coming up through. I said, I feel as if I'm leaning back towards Elevate now. I don't know which way you're thinking.
I mean, I kind of feel, my needle's pointing the same direction as it was before that map. I do think that Elevate are a very resilient team. And honestly, the way we saw the likes of Rated R play on Asylum last week, just wasn't good, to be honest.
No,
it wasn't good. And against Elevate, I don't know. I just feel like Elevate might have this one in the bag, but it's so hard to separate because you look at the previous scores between the two teams, and Rated R did have the last map on Asylum against him, 5-1. It was a good good scoreline, good victory. So it's just so back and forth. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I have to go with Elevate. Elevate being that resilient team, they've got to give themselves a shot at potentially stealing this title once again in the major. We know the regular quarter has been locked in already by Rated R, but those points coming into play that you get from the majors do affect the previous quarter's standings. So there is potential for an upset in that regard still. Elevate, they've got the opportunity to give themselves that opportunity. We'll see what happens, I guess. But I've got to stick with Elevate. I
think it would be foolish to go in the opposite direction. I think the evidence is sort of stacking up against Rated R here. And they will be making sure that they do want to win this game. Absolutely. As I said, they've already got first locked in heading into the major, but they will still want to do this. They will still want to go for the perfect season. That's what we spoke to Marsh at the beginning of the season. That's what he said he wanted. He wanted to do the double of Elevate. He wanted to make sure that they locked in that first place. No questions asked. Right now, they have done that. Don't get me wrong. However, they will still want to do this perfect. Asylum is what's coming up. Based on what we've seen from Asylum on the Rated R side of things last week, not necessarily the best result against Team Sick of all people as well. It was a 5-2 win for Team Sick. So Elevate will be looking at this and thinking, all right, if Team Sick can beat them 5-2, we can definitely beat them 5-2. So we will be heading into this one. Guys in the chat, please let me know what you do think of this game, which way you think it's going to go. Toby is already in here, as per usual. And he is thinking that Elevate are going to win this one. He's siding with us, even though I have been backwards and forwards and very much on the fence all the way through. I still would like to say that based on what we've seen so far, I'm saying Elevate, even though I don't think we made official predictions at the beginning of this. I sort of think of who was going to take it.
I think we just kind of threw it up in the air and said, well, it's probably going to be a good one. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Who knows? But Toby is thinking Elevate with a 2-1. Live to Your Grave is thinking Rated R, do it 5-4. Let us know the scores that you think it will take for one of these two teams to get that win. I see the players in the lobby, so we should be getting into this game very, very shortly. But this is the last map of the summer quarter through. It's been a good one, isn't it? I would like to say that for all the ending of last season was probably my favorite because of how close it was. When it comes down to how close in general the competition has been, I think the summer quarter has been the best outside of teams.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we had, it's difficult to say, isn't it? Because if we had Obey there rather than Team Sick, we wouldn't have had the oxygen that we have today because Ashens wouldn't have been there. So yeah, I kind of feel like, yeah, it's bad on Team Sick, but I honestly do think you're right. I think those top 3 teams, Oxygen, you know, you Rated R, you Elevate, they have been fantastic this quarter, and they've been so fun to watch. And you know, competition in Europe at this top level is definitely starting to kind of level out a little bit, and we're seeing, you know, some of these teams that have put the work in, you know, definitely sat down and tried and given it their all. They're getting their reward for that, and that is victories over these top teams. That is, you know, potentially a top 2 placement here for the third seed team. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, absolutely, it's been the closest quarter, and yeah, I think you're right, the best.
Well, it will come to its conclusion. On Asylum, we will head over towards map number 3 between Elevate and Rated R. As said, nothing on the cards for Rated R in terms of the placements heading into this major finals, of course, but for Elevate, they need to win to lock in that second place spot. Rated R took Vazgon. District went over towards Elevate. I mean, come on, we got to see round number 9, surely, haven't we? It's either going to be round 9, dead close, or Elevate are going to smoke them 5-1 or something like that. I hope for the former.
I definitely do too. A round 9 would be a fitting way to, you know, end the season, and I actually think these two teams, they deserve to go the distance. The viewers that have sat for, you know, however many weeks, I mean 6 weeks this quarter, and you know the rest of them throughout the rest of the season, have only ever wanted to see, you know, this go all the way, and it has done every single time. So why would we break trend now?
Well, here we go. The only team to play this so far is Rated R, and they played it against Team Sick and lost 5-2. So honestly, we don't really have any basis on this, that other than Rated R played it pretty badly against Team Sick, and for that reason, you would like to think Elevate should win this one, but who honestly knows? Crazed and Co. that will try to take control of B very, very early on. It's a 2-man stack for them. 3 members of Rated R here, though. Those should be easily able to answer back, but Slazen is going to down Pains, who is going to be cleaned up by Phelpsy in the mid-map as well. Really good positioning from him as well. His team have been forced back over towards the train tracks, though. More towards their spawn, and this should be Rated R getting a hold of this midpoint in round number 1.
It should be, but Marsh has been caught out here. Dragon's nice kill there in the middle. Should get taken down in just a second as things are trading back and forth. Slazen's rolled into a bad spot here. He's going to get taken out as well. Poor movement from him. Will find himself rolling straight into that shotgun there. Off Crazed. Up top, Hydrone. Bot walking basically towards Strikers as he knows he's got teammates to his right, to his front. Strikers gets taken down, and this is a good opening from Elevate. They're already pressuring on this domination. We are going to see it start to tick in just a second. Marsh with the flashbang. Flashes wide. Tries to fight the 1v1. He's getting touched for just a second, but it's still Elevate right on the wire here. Hydrone gets himself a double kill. Hydrone gets himself a triple kill, as he is going to do everything it takes to get his round, to get his team 1 round up. And just like that, Elevate, they carry on that trend of winning rounds. They carry on the resiliency. And look at the scores already. Jack 3-3-0. He's got 6 to his name. Hydrone 3-2 as well.
Fantastic round out of Elevate. Find the kills and just keep on pushing forward. Hydrone, though, as mentioned, fantastic play from him. Rated R now, though. Backs against the wall a little bit, but only 1 round in. They won't be too concerned as of yet. Just feels as if Elevate got their tails up a little bit, doesn't it?
Does indeed. Does indeed. We are going to see Rated R here take control of the cave. Smoke's going to go out, blinding Slazen for just a second. The push will come through. Marsh finding those downs. Not able to clean anything, and actually Slazen's going to pay for that one with his life. Good trades back and forth here, going in the favor of Rated R just now. Pains cannot die in this situation. He's gonna, though. Took his eye off the bat for just a second, the ball for just a second, and Jack comes through with another kill. Jack now trying to make more plays. Oh, Dragon's making plays, but on the wrong team. That's unfortunate. Absolutely so.
It's not ideal from Dragons, and then he's going to go down without finding anything. As the train rolls in, giving a little bit of cover. Hydra in the middle of nowhere, and he's going to fall down far too easily as well. Topsy and Crimson Zone will combine and find strikers. A and B belongs to Elevate, and we know they'll be happy to sit on this one. Pain's making the push very, very weak, though. Crimsons will have to back on down. Crimson still has a bit of work to do after this game as well, of course, with a game up against two of his teammates in the National Clash Finals. Please do stick around at egl.tv/live for that after this one, but this fight specifically is going in the favor of Rated R. Dragons maybe getting warmed up a little bit too late. Who knows?
Yep, I'd agree with that sentiment, to be honest with you. I don't think he's had the best finals. We put him in that head-to-head, right, as the one to watch. One of the top two kind of players in the league. If not the league, definitely this game. And well, honestly, he's underperformed. He was out of lives in the first half on Vascar, the second half on Vascar. Out of life straight away on District as well. Made some rough plays there. Was giving his life up quite a few times. And now here on Asylum, we're seeing him get team kills completely unpressured. It's not like Dragons, to be honest with you. He's had a fantastic season, a fantastic quarter as well.
Oh, here we go.
Just not had a fantastic day today. And he has got time to make that right, hasn't he, for his team, but he's got to start now.
Well, he's here with the rest of his team, who looking like they are going to eliminate here, and they will do. It is partially, and thanks to Dragons, found a couple of kills towards the end of that round. 1-1 now. It's going to be hard to separate these two teams, honestly. Very, very difficult, as we found out over the course of, well, since September.
Yep. Absolutely so. I think that's a good thing for the region, though.
It is,
honestly
100%. 100%. I think in terms of when we were watching as well, when Elevate were dominating the competition, when they were Space Station and Fable, it's just a bit boring, isn't it? It does be said from that standpoint of view as well. But it's nice having the competition as well. It's something to strive for. If you these top teams, knowing that you're within touching distance, knowing that you can beat each other on any given day, makes you perform to the highest level.
Yeah, and I don't think Oxygen are too far off that level either, having watched them this quarter.
Yep.
I think a little bit more practice, a little bit more polish here and there, and just giving time for those younger players to kind of grow into their roles a little bit, you know, mature a little bit in some of their decisions. Absolutely, they're a contender for this #1 spot as well. They just need to stick together. They just need to, you know, give it a little bit of time and work properly with that time as well. It's not all about just leaving it, right, and in 2 months you'll be better. It's about actively practicing, actively trying to improve.
Good Lance of Fire coming out on Marsh though, but very weak as he pushes around the corner, and Hydron will take advantage of that. Pains is Flew with 3 members of Elevate, and I'll be very surprised if he gets out of this one, but Hydron's give him a hand. He's found a kill onto Phelpsius. Pains finds one onto his teammate, and that is a complete collapse by Elevate in the middle of the map, and far, far too easy for Rated R to get a hold of B. And now Elevate all of a sudden are kind of pinned back in the spawn. Dragons miss rolls though, and will be cleaned up for his mistake.
Error.
Yep.
I'm not keeping counts, but that is quite a few this series, and it is little things like that, you know. One death, that leads to this entire B section of the hill going the wrong way. It leads to Elevate having a full control over this map, and, you know, his team might clutch up here, but they might not. And if they haven't, they've lost this because they are a person down, and it was completely avoidable.
Both teams posturing in the middle here. Rated R with the advantage. It's a good 2 minutes before they'll be able to walk away as winners of this round, though, if the state of play stayed the same. Both teams just trying to find a very slight advantage, even just a damage advantage. Crazed getting aggressive. Now they know he will be weak, and Rated R may be pushed for that as well, but really good Lance of Fire coming in here from Crazed. He's got a hell of an angle, and now he's going to push with the rest of his squad. Dragons is going to find one though onto Jackvex, and it's an important shutdown as well. Elevate are just going to back down and concentrate their efforts elsewhere. It's a quick transition through the middle of the map. Crimson's is up top, and Strikers now will have to defend. We know Marsh is close by as well. Which way are these fights going to go? Crazed finding Marsh. They find a couple of kills over towards B, and then Elevate just flood towards A from a couple of different directions. It's so well played. Now Rated R have to come back and they have to defend. Everybody from Elevate who isn't dead is here. Crimson's though, what can he do in this area now? He's in rare with Dragons, who we said has had a bit of a slow game. He is going to go down to Crazed. Jack is here with him as well. Slazen. No, he's not going to be able to get taken down. Jack's not quite able to finish the kill. Strikers comes in there and answers back, and if you're Crazed, you either keep going or you back out, and the answer is keep on going, but he rolls far too far, and Strikers will find the kill. It's a 20-second win condition for Rated R, and they should be able to take the lead here in map number 3.
They should indeed. They should indeed. No one defending C Hill. The B is in Rated R's favor as well. This is going to be them going 2-1 up. Really good round from Rated R. 2 in a row now. Forcing that lead to come through. Rated R, are they on the bounce back? It's a long time to go yet. We've seen this situation in, all 3 maps so far this series. 2-1, potentially going 2-2 at the half. If Rated R can break that deadlock, can stretch that lead and not let Elevate tie things up at that halfway mark, they'll be in a real good position to come out of this one on top and take that 2-1 victory, but it's a real big ask. Elevate have been pushing them right to the wire. Even with 3 people, 4 people. They're always trying to fight it out. Trying to play at the pace that Rated R are known for as well. It's not like they've slowed things down to a crawl and are slowly choking Rated R out of it. No, they are in their face. They're on their home hill. They're making those plays. And Elevate, for everything that we've said, have been the aggressors.
Rated R not quite falling in the same trap, though. It's losing so many lives as they have done over the past 2 maps. Of course, we have another half for that to happen. As I say, as Marsh goes down to 1 respawn, and nearly everybody from Rated R starting to drop as Elevate. Oh, just start winning gunfights across the map. Strikers trying to just play his life, and Crimson's catches him off guard. This may well be a domination. Rated R might have a chance to get into here. Will they? Paints just about makes it in. Which way does this fight go? It's looking as if it's going towards Elevate. Dragons is there to try and answer back. He's the only one left at this moment in time for Rated R, but here comes the cavalry. Crimson's now backing off. Strikers down. Dragons now the last one. Can he just hold on long enough? Not quite. Crimson's sends him to the respawn queue. Marsh and Co. not quite close enough. And Elevate just flicker switch as they so often do. 2-2 now. And only took a minute to level things up at the half.
It did. Beautiful movement there from Crimson's at the end as well, getting himself out of a really rough spot. Super, super quick. I'd like to see that as well. Very, very heads-up play. Healing back up, going back in, finding another couple of kills. Liking what I am seeing from Crimson's. And actually, this, for me, is one of the maps that I think Crimson's is very, very good at. He's just been a standout player on this map throughout the few seasons that we've seen him play here. We haven't seen him on this map at all, this quarter. As we said, it's the first time Elevator played it, but Crimson's, for me, has just been a really, really strong player on Asylum.
He's just a strong player, I think.
I mean, he's all right, isn't he?
Yeah, he's decent. Yeah.
Toby would give him a run for his money, but apart from that,
only on mouse and keyboard.
I think he's up there.
Pains, though, tries to get a hold of it and will sacrifice himself somewhat to get it locked in. As we head up towards the bridge for the midpoint. DNF obviously changing places ever so slightly, moving further towards the tracks as Crazed and Co looking to lock in E here. A very, very tight game so far. Elevate happy to do that. And I'd imagine we're going to see this back and forth for quite some time, unless somebody gets quite a clean break. The incens are somewhat wasted. I would like to say that Rated R's is probably a little bit better. Its zone's a little bit better. It means that Elevate can't quite push up and finish anything off just yet. That's allowed Rated R to at least decap here. They may well be able to capture as Strikers just ticks this up a little bit. But here comes the flash, and here comes Elevate. Strikers, you are dead as a doorknob. Push comes through, but there comes the shot coming back out from Rated R. Dragons will go down, and Craze will continue to try and find something. Paint lunging over the cover, not going to find anything there, but on the other side of things, Elevate just held very, very well with their Lancers, and there's Craze punishing Marsh for sitting in the corner. And they may well look for a little bit more. Elevate get it done relatively cleanly, and Pains and Co just about have to back down.
They do. Slays and Strikers trying to open up again, but Crazed has just come huge for his team there. That was beautiful. Really good play. Lovely Lancer Fire. Nice back A to find a kill. Yes, he has to back off now, but he did the work. You can see that support play kind of coming in on his scoreline. He was on 5 kills, 13 or so assists. 3 more to his name now. And a couple more as he finds the kills. Finds the eliminations. Shot grenade, flashbang, sorry, going out.
Grace is just doing everything for his team himself now. Strax
Yep.
is going to go down after a couple of downs coming with the Lancer. He's still going as well.
Crazed.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, he's going to give it over to Jack. But the domination is about to tick on through here for Elevate. It sort of feels like every time they've won that gunfight up top E, they've just done a little bit more with the presence they have than Rated R have. This time round, they choose to back down. Are they expecting an overextension over towards F, potentially? Do they know where Rated R are pushing Pains, though? He isn't going to be able to get through unseen. Crazed, very weak, is going to go down. It's actually Phelpsy who drops him. Crazed is actually going to get taken down there as well. 3 members of Elevate just suddenly dropped down. They were taking in a domination not long ago. The swarm win condition is 30. I think that'll do it on the 1 cap, but no will. Elevator being pushed here, though. There's the D cap coming on through. The domination ticking up as well. This has been looking like an Elevate round for the majority. Can they continue to save it? Phelpsy is there. Pains misses his shot. Can he clean up the rest? Slays it in himself. Working very, very well. Phelpsy suddenly all alone. Nobody respawning for Elevate. They will concede 3-2 Rated R. And that is some going, considering where they were maybe 40 seconds ago. They were defending themselves from a domination. They walk up to the other side of the map and get a domination locked in against Elevate.
That's it. That's momentum in play right there. You know, a couple of kills at one side, little mistake coming in here and there from Elevate, and we just see Rated R snowball and snowball and snowball until, you know, they're rolling down the hill with it essentially, and they get that domination locked in. Elevate in the end just didn't even respawn. They knew it. They knew Rated R had done what they needed to do to flip that round on its head. And, you know, in Elevate-like fashion, right at the buzzer as well, they come through with it. 3-2 now, Rated R. 2 rounds away from having that flawless season, from a perfect 6 wins out of 6. Got to think they're in the best seat for it, the driving seat here. They're going to go back up to this E fight once again. Pain's all the way in, trying to get that decap. Nice, sneaky little angle here. Can he get the revive? He will. Marsh gets taken out in the end, but if this cap comes through, it might be worthwhile. We'll see.
Pains can get out. No, no, we can't. Oh, gets put weak and the fire finishes him off. Phelpsy and Co now will be able to make this push over towards E. It's an Incend coming in on the Rated R side of things. Hasn't been able to find anything. Dragon's in the bad spot as well. Swarm will dominate in a few. It looks like they'll be able to keep a hold of F. With the push coming in from Pains to just about lock this one in. But Elevate are in such a good spot to try and lock this. And they surely are going to make this 3-3. Rated R coming up off the respawns. They will have time to get there. But are they going to have the numbers to do so? Slazen and Co are going to be able to get close. Jack has to back on down. Marsh is here to try and do something. If he can stay alive long enough, I think the rest of the team might come on in, but not quite in time. They should be able to lock it in. Just.
And honestly, Dragons could have used that respawn. He really could have needed that one later on. You know, he dropped himself down to 2. It will go back up to 3 for this next round, but, you know, being at 4 respawns with just, you know, maybe 4 rounds to go, essentially 3 rounds to go, that's a much better spot. And I just have to be, you know, curious as to why he's done that. His team weren't going to respawn in behind him. Obviously, they would, you know, they're watching their own respawns. May as well give the round up, just like Elevate did in the previous round. Just be careful. Just be, you know, thoughtful of what you're doing with your buttons and the decisions that you're making. I guess, in the end, that's what they're about, isn't it? It's try and try and try until you either die or you come out on top.
Well, here we go again. Rated R just brute forcing their way over towards E here, and they will capture it fairly easily. Looking towards the train tracks, though, we can see that Elevate do have a member there to maybe make the push over towards D, but the majority of resources concentrated on up top. This constant war of both these two teams just finding a kill, finding a little bit of an advantage, pushing, getting a hold of B, backing down. The other team getting an advantage, but look at these wasted, if you like, utility grenades. I think they're both out of Rated R, you know, and they found absolutely nothing for it other than stop and Elevate capture it. Is that enough out of your 2 grenades? I don't know if it is.
I'm not sure it is either. I would have liked to have kept 1 at least in the pocket. You know, you're up in points. Elevate have to push this. The one thing they can't do is push through those grenades. So yeah, perhaps we'll see push coming in from Elevate now because of that. See Craze putting a bit of pressure on, trying to get as close to the edge of the ring as possible here to cap this up in safety. Good play by Craze. Will go down in the end. The push is going to come through from Rated R. Payne's leading that charge. Shotgun is going to come through. Payne's right in the corner. He's all right for now.
I mean, both teams not really doing a lot with their incends, with their shocks so far. Elevate seeing that. I mean, is that one going to find anything? No. It's not very often that you see a shock go all the way over.
I don't mind that shock. That shock is purely to force Elevate's backliners to back off a minute. They're not going to go for the kill there. All they're doing is getting the cap in and resetting a bit. Jack's not going to push on his own because that's suicide. If he does that, he loses his team more points than he gains, right? Even if he just backs all the way out. So Jack sits still. Rated R, they get a free hill. Not a terrible position, not a terrible trade now, and they get to be the defensive team here, and that's the easier position to be in. Not when you're doing it like that, though.
Jack finding kills far too easily. He's going to find Marsh. Dragons is going to follow him to the grave as well. There's one more player from Rated R in and around here, and honestly, you want to get the hell out of dodge if you're strikers. Just trying his best to survive. Are they going to chase him down as well? They're going to be aware of where he is. Yes, he is. Just pushed a little bit too early. And Strikers goes down. Elevate in a prime position here to put themselves 4-3 up and on series and second place point, if you like. Still a lot of the round to play out, though, as we just about tie it up here. That's a nice shot grenade coming out of Rated R. They're going to completely zone off the stairs, but if you're Elevate, you back on down, and you still get angles with these Lancers, with these pistols. Rated R, Irrelevant, are going to lock in that midpoint. Payne's going to push. He will find a kill before he does go down, so a 1-for-1 trade works out.
Yeah, I don't hate that trade, actually. Taking out Jack, it's big. Jack's been crucial for his team, and having him out of this in this last fight is going to mean that Elevate are fighting 4v4. They've got to look at the D side of things. The domination is ticking. Phelpsy, he's against Paynes. Paynes will get the kill as Phelpsy jumps over. That's big. This should be Rated R coming through with a victory here if they can lock in the D hill. I don't think it's going to matter up here at the top. 13 seconds on the board. Is it going to switch over towards... It is going to switch over. Elevate, they're going to get the win in just 6 seconds. No one can do anything about it. Nothing at all. It's just a second in it. And look at that. Elevate take it right at the wire. 4-3 now, Elevate. They are one round away from taking the series.
Oh, my word. It's Phelpsy finding that one kill over at D and just locking it in for a couple of seconds. I don't even know if he locked it in, but he got at least the D cap. And all of a sudden, Elevate are 4-3 up. That is a very, very tough one. If you're Rated R, 4-3 now.
That is so tough. And the play's been made down at that home side, hasn't it? I think that's it. The home side has been pretty inactive for the previous 6 rounds. Right at the wire, it really does come through. 1-1v1, and then, you know, that's the spot at which we say these players that are coming through the challenger scene are fantastic at their 1v1s. That's the time that they can really shine. Payne's going down so quick again. Great Lancer Fire. Revive's going to come through for the side of Rated R, but damn, it's close. Look how low he is. He's down to 13%.
I really thought Payne's had done the business for his team in that previous round where he went for that trade up against Jack. You're gonna know he's there. Hydro and playing the Secret Man and will take Payne's down.
Yep, big brain plays coming out from Hydro, and he knew that flank was going to come through, predicted it, really well positioned himself, and now he's got another one on Dragons. Will go down. Revive's going to come through here, and this looks good for Elevate as they're getting the kills out. Crimson's here to support as well. Strikers has to run back, and F, that's in contention here. Swarm are going to dominate in just 3 seconds. Is anyone from Rated R anywhere near? It's Paynes. He's got a touch, but he's not got enough. It's going to be Elevate all the way. They're going to take it. It's going to be 5-3, and Elevate are going to take the series, Chris. 2-1 in the end. What a game. What a map.
What a series. And what a quarter it has been for these two teams and for Oxygen. But Elevate, with the late surge, will lock in that second place. 5-4 to Rated R map number 1, but a 5-3, 5-3. District and Asylum out of Elevate will give them the series and will give them second place heading into the finals. What a game that was. And they just seem to have this switch that they flick sometimes, Elevate. And they flick it at the right time and get it done in 3. Up against Rated R, who will not go the season undefeated and will head into the finals with something to prove against Elevator once again. It always seems to happen. It always seems to Rated R who go on to win it. Well, it has been the case for the last 2 quarters anyway. But Elevator always get that last win against them. And maybe that creates a little bit of doubt heading into the big, obviously, the tournament towards the end. What a game that was, and I hope everybody in the chat really enjoyed that one. Me and Prue, I think it's very, very fair to say that we did. But let's have a look at the very final standings for the summer quarter. We played 6 weeks of Gears, and this is where we've ended up. Rated up unanimously. First place with a 5-win to 1-loss ratio and 5 points on the board. Round differential very much in their favor as well. It's been a good quarter, irrelevant from Rated R, hasn't it, Through? I mean, they were disappointed with that loss, but overall, a 5-1 victory, if you like, and first place heading into the major. You would think they'd be happy with that if you'd given them that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So, they're going in first place into the major. They've got the kind of bragging rights, I suppose, going in, knowing the only other team to, take a map off them was their counterparts in Elevate, whereas Elevate did lose to Oxygen earlier on in the quarter. So yes, absolutely, Rated R would have taken it. It's all about that grand final now, isn't it? Well, we're predicting they're going to get there. It's all about how these 2 teams do in that major, because that will ultimately decide the summer quarter. It's close. 5 points, 4 points, 1 point ties it, and that can easily be broken if one team just does get upset in that major bracket.
Well, there we go. That is going to be the end of the summer quarter before we do head over towards the major. Of course, that is towards the end of July. Keep an eye on the socials for a little bit more information on that, but we will be running the broadcast Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's going to be it. As I said, Team 6 at the bottom, Oxygen in 3rd, Elevate 2nd, Rated R 1st. And that will do it for the Gears Pro League. Of course, we do have the National Clash finals coming up in about 20 minutes or so. We'll be back at 20 to 10 local time, I said, within 20 minutes here at ejl.tv/live. If you do want to stick around for that, it's only the grand finals left to go there. But as said, it is the summer quarter done and dusted. We will see you for the major, but we will see you for the National Clash in 20 minutes.